Hello there, my name is Archronos. Welcome back to my react to The Last of Us. We are, of course, jumping in with episode 3, long time. Normally at this point I would do a prediction of what I think is going to happen in the episode. This, of course, being the episode that is going to focus on Bill and Frank. I'm just going to jump straight in this week, and I have no ideas of what's going to happen here. I do expect the story to be a little bit different than the game. We'll have to see what happens. Let's go ahead and jump in. Opening scenes looks like the river on its way to Tommy's power plant. Looks very like the river that leads there, actually, which suggests a rapidly sped up timeline. Miles west of Boston. They managed to get away completely after the tragic episode last week. Joel is understandably quite annoyed. You can tell things have been quite tense between them. Ellie's trying to break the ice a bit here.
Look, I've been thinking about...
I don't want your sorries.
I wasn't going to say I'm sorry. I was going to say that I've been thinking about what happened. How much longer?
5-hour hike.
Are we there yet? I wonder, are we going to get to see the power plant this week then?
You know, seeing as it's just the two of us, I was thinking I should
Can I have a gun? No. No, you cannot.
Stashed? Why do you have stuff stashed here?
You ask a lot of goddamn questions. Find ourselves short on gear, which I currently am, because...
No way. You ever play this one? I had a friend who knew everything about this game. Okay,
Quite interesting that they chose to use Mortal Kombat there. She's definitely going to get into some sort of trouble here. She has a very carefree attitude, kicking debris, making noise. She doesn't care. So I'd say she has an educational run-in coming up. Do not. She wants to be like all fiercely independent and find the supplies and show Joel that she did it. Says she's going to get herself into terrible trouble here. Yeah, that's your foolproof escape that will definitely not betray you. Do we have your attention now? Looks like a clicker that's got buried by the debris. Like the gas station has collapsed on him a long time ago. What are you doing? I just watched her slice open this clicker's head. She sliced it along there and just let the skin open. I find myself like unable to look away rather than being grossed out by it.
Ellie?
Morbidly fascinating.
What are you doing?
There's not much ammo out there for this thing. Makes it mostly useless.
Well, if you're just going to leave it there.
No.
No, you may not have a gun. That shot there was one of the very first promotional images for the show.
So everything came crashing down in one day.
Cordyceps mutated. Some of it got into the food supply. Probably a basic ingredient like flour or sugar. You eat enough of it, it'll get you infected. It got worse.
That doesn't explain how everybody, or not everybody, got
They
sick.
started biting.
Whatever it was, think it's gone.
She's got a real swagger to her. Like, it's something that will define her character as it develops. But yeah, she's got like a real attitude to her. I really like how she's portraying the character.
About a week after Outbreak Day, soldiers went through the countryside, evacuated the small towns.
I killed him. Why not just leave him be?
Dead people can't be infected.
The very believable attitude. September 30th, 2003. So this is 20 years ago. The week of the major outbreak. Hello, Bill. Holy shit. Yeah, this is Bill, alright. I'm not spoiling anything by telling you that Bill is very paranoid about his security. Takes a lot of extreme measures to protect the area where he lives. I immediately want to know, like, far more about the character's background. Like, how did he not get swept up in the mandatory evacuations? How did the military not know about all his, like, security that he set up around the town? Like, his cameras and stuff. Farewell, friend. He just goes back to his meal. Love it. 4 years later, 2007. Okay. So this is 4 years later, after the evacuation of all the townsfolk. He's been by himself for quite a while.
I'm not infected.
Fell into the trap or something.
No. Why did you take that long to answer?
I have a theory on who this is. This is what, 4 years later, 2007.
Up there.
He looks like Jeff Fahey in Lost.
Then every bum you talk to about it is gonna show up here looking for a free lunch. And this is not an Arby's.
Well, Arby's didn't have free lunch, it was a restaurant.
Bill probably hasn't had human contact now in 4 years. This is probably the first person he's seen ever since that day that the townsfolk were all evacuated. If we put together what Joel said, a lot of those people are probably incarcerated or killed or eaten, infected, whatever. He has this weird, like, psychotic slash suspicious look. It's like combined in one. It's very unique. The presentation of the food suggests like Bill has like expert chef history. Like he's worked in the kitchen industry.
No, sir. No, thank you. Sorry. Not this song. Not this song.
Well, I'm not a professional.
Well, neither am I, but...
Special to his mother.
Love will abide for a long, long time.
Swing for the fences, big man.
So, who's the girl?
There is no girl.
I know. What's your name?
Bill.
That was an Extremely powerful scene. Wasn't a lot I could say there. 2010.
Would you stop? Do I ask for things? Ever? We're gonna make friends. And we will invite them to visit.
We don't have friends, Frank.
Can you not, please?
Do you actually have friends?
I'm the same way.
Never mind.
Schizophrenic too?
I'm not schizophrenic.
I mean, I want to thank you, even if we don't end up working together. I really needed this.
We are working together.
We're actually decent people just trying to get by.
Oh. Well, aren't I the lucky one?
So
The
this,
stuff we have in the QZ that you don't have here.
this is their first meeting?
Books, medicine, machine parts. Galvanized wire already started to corrode. I can get you 10 spools of high tensile aluminum.
I sense Joel's gonna regret that.
We'll be fine.
So earlier when Joel was talking to Ellie, he remarked that Frank is nice and didn't say anything about Bill.
Oh!
I traded Joel and Tess one of your guns for a packet of seeds.
Uh-oh.
Which gun?
A little one.
If he traded the gun for seeds, he must have been growing this for ages in secret. Which shows how lax Bill has got as well. Like, had this been 3 or 4 years ago, Bill would have known everything happening, but he's obviously got very relaxed and let his guard down a lot.
No, not on the strawberries.
Right.
That's a powerful line. I was never afraid before you showed up. Basically means he's afraid of losing him. Bill's already up.
No! We gotta get you inside. No! Bill! No! Inside, now!
Those guys must have just been scavengers. They didn't know anything about Bill's traps.
No.
He's gonna sting.
Call Joel.
He'll take care of you.
So Bill and Joel had a really good friendship at this point. It was 2013, I think.
Bring him inside.
Don't understand. Oh, it's 10 years later.
Okay.
Frank has some sort of debilitating disease. I'm gonna guess cancer. Or something to do with his muscles, maybe. Look at the painting of Bill up on the wall. I think they're just gonna leave it as a debilitating disease and not say what it is. It's a beautiful yet bitter story they're telling here. So they had, what, 16 years together, I think? I think it said this was 2023. So the last time we had a time update was 2013, and then it said 10 years later, so I think that's what it... This is supposed to be 2023. We met him in 2007, I think. I hope my maths is right on that. If it's not, forgive me, please. It's late. He's recreating the first night together, but he's sitting like right beside him this time. Whereas the first night together, he didn't trust him at all. The enormity of what's coming is setting in here, I think. You can see it with Frank. Both of them have not eaten their dinner. I thought it was just Frank had not eaten his, but you can see Bill didn't eat his dinner either. So they're just pretty much thinking about what's coming here. Thought he might have said something to him, but he did say that they would go to bed together now.
I'm old. I'm satisfied. And you were my purpose.
So we're back in present day now.
Stay there.
Do you regret getting him them fences now, huh? Oh, he knows the front door code, never mind. Oh no, something's wrong.
I'm guessing you found this, Joel, because anyone else would have been electrocuted or blown up by one of my traps. Anyway, I never liked you. But still, it's like we're friends. Almost. I used to hate the world, and I was happy when everyone died. But I was wrong. Because there was one person worth saving. That's why men like you and me are here. We have a job to do.
That's another... It's not really a key outfit, but it's a very important way that she dresses, with the long sleeve and the t-shirt over the top of it. You found a gun, haven't you? I knew by the way she looked down she'd found one.
Well, don't you look pretty?
Shut up. Seatbelt. Seatbelt.
He thought for a second she was resisting him, and then he realized she didn't know what one was. So that was the third episode of The Last of Us. A long time. I have some very mixed feelings about that episode. I thought the episode itself was superb. What they did with the story, it's hard to put into words what I want to say here. In the game, it's not entirely clear that Bill is gay, and they make a reference to him having a partner, Frank. You never actually get to meet Frank, because unfortunately Frank is already dead in the game. You actually happen upon Frank's body after he has left the world, unfortunately.
So that worked out well. Okay, I'll go check out this side of the house.
Bill?
Somebody had the same idea. They stole my shit.
Well, then what the hell is plan B?
You ought to be thankful you're still drawing breath. That was plan A, B, C, all the way to fucking Z. And furthermore, tell Tess that she could take this job.
Don't you bring Tess
she
into
could
this.
shove it right up
It has
her
nothing to do with... Jesus. What, you know this guy or something?
Frank.
Who the hell's Frank?
He was my partner. He's the only idiot that would wear a shirt like that.
Bill and the player and Ellie find the scene where it happened. Bill and Frank had been separated from each other for quite some time, and they don't really go into a lot of detail on what happened between them. They make like subtle references to the fact that Bill had a male partner, but they portray Bill in the game as very bitter and distant, and doesn't like being around people that much. He's very paranoid and doesn't trust anybody at all. You can tell there's like a sense of animosity or uneasiness between him and Joel.
Man, that was close. Thanks for the heroics and all. Ellie. Hey, what are you... Joel?
Bill!
What are you doing?
Bill!
Let me go.
Turn around and get on your knees. Just calm down a second. Turn around. All right.
Get on your knees. Don't test me.
Just take it easy.
Any bites? No. Anything sprouting?
Oh, God damn it, I'm clean!
If I see so much as a twitch. Ow!
Stop!
Son of a bitch!
You done?
Am I done? You come into my house, you set off all my traps, you damn near break my shooting arm.
Just things aren't on very solid ground between them when they meet in the game, and there's a huge set piece that Bill, Ellie, and Joel go through. It's a very defining set piece, actually. It's very unfortunate that we're not going to visit. I have a number of theories on why that might be the case. Let's not beat around the bush here. I am, of course, talking about the school. I would say the political climate in the US is probably a contributing factor. And there are a lot of tragic incidents in the world involving schools and weaponry, as everybody knows. And I would say that probably played a strong part in not wanting to do that kind of thing on a TV show, especially given what would actually take place in the school in the game. It's just a bunch of infected. Like they just fight a large number of infected in the school, and they meet one of the special infected for the first time in the gymnasium of the school. They have like a boss fight, pretty much.
Guess they gonna hold it for long.
Oh, that don't sound good.
Ellie, take cover!
And then they escape and they get to the suburbs, which is more or less the area that Bill and Frank were living in there. They get to the suburbs and they find Frank has departed, and I think he leaves Bill a goodbye note. A little bit hazy on that, but I think he leaves Bill a goodbye note, and they read it together, and then they pretty much have to rush off in the truck, which is kind of what did happen there at the end as well, with heading off in the truck, although Joel and Ellie were not under the same time pressure that they were in the game, because Bill, Joel, and Ellie were actually fleeing infected at that point, so they actually had to get out of Bill's town. And once they get out of town and they're in a safe area, Bill agrees to get out of the truck and leave them to it. He basically parts ways with them.
All right, this'll do! Stop!
Just keep it running, all right?
That girl nearly got us killed.
You gotta admit, she did hold her own back there.
You ain't gonna make it. Here.
What's this?
You'd be amazed at how many cars still got gas in them.
Appreciate it. Look, Bill, about your buddy back there, that's a tough deal. And
We square.
we're square.
And get the fuck out of my town.
You come to like Bill at that point. You get to see that he does have a heart and he does care about people. He's very, very slow to let people in. Doesn't let his guard down very much at all. He really dislikes Ellie a lot. Really, really dislikes her. But over the course of I think it's like an hour or two of gameplay that you actually spend together, he lets her in a lot and trusts her, and he becomes quite a lovely character. So that brings me to what they did here, because they firstly portrayed the romance between Bill and Frank in a very beautiful way. They spared no details in showing how lovely their romance was and how they fell in love with each other and the many years that they spent together living together, and the fact that they got married as well. The way that they chose to deal with both characters, I loved what they did with the two characters on their own, right? So I love the fact that we got to see this beautiful romance between these two men, and the reverence that they showed it compared to what they did in the game. I think they wanted to repair a lot of what they did in the game. They didn't do any damage to that relationship in any way, but they didn't allow it to flourish or spend any time talking about how romantic it was. And I think they wanted to basically put it up there on a pedestal and show how much Bill loved Frank. And I think they did that beautifully. But they robbed us of the school set piece for sure. They didn't necessarily rob us of the interactions with Bill's traps. They kind of told that in a different way. So Joel and Ellie explore Bill's town and have to navigate through Bill's traps.
Jesus!
Whoa,
And that's the demonstration that you're
what the hell
reaching a
was
new area.
That would be one of Bill's traps.
Your friend a bit paranoid, maybe?
That's putting it lightly.
Here in the show, they told that by showing those group of scavengers attacking Bill's town the night that Bill got shot. So you got to see how awesome Bill's defenses were, which was really cool. I enjoyed that immensely, that whole night of the attack. And they showed that Frank was given some training by Bill as well. Like, when those two characters first meet, you see how naive and dumb Frank is towards weaponry and keeping himself alive and surviving. Whereas you could see the night that that attack happened, he didn't do it immediately, but he knew that he should get a gun and go out to help Bill. So I don't think he was doing it, well, he was certainly doing it to protect his partner, but he was also going through the training that Bill probably showed him. So I like that they implied that. I was actually looking for that. I was like, come on, like, you've been with this almost mercenary for like 6 years or something at that point, and you're gonna just like act like the same naive guy who doesn't know how to look after himself on the night that Bill is possibly going to die. But he brought it around. He basically surprised me pleasantly in getting a gun and acting like he knew how to use it. The fact that he unloaded the clip and loaded the gun and all, it was a really nice scene to see. Nice touch. And then they did the whole thing with Bill getting injured, and very unexpected curveball that they served up then, where instead of showing the recovery period that Bill went through, they basically flipped the scenario straight away and showed that it was in fact Bill who was caring for Frank, and they made out that Frank had a debilitating or degenerative disease. They did make a reference to MRIs at one point, which suggested that it was, of course, cancer. I did actually like the fact that they never got around to explicitly stating this is what happened to this person, because I feel that they wanted to be respectful to anybody around the world who is dealing with those kind of conditions, and they didn't want to mock them or show in poor light the suffering that people go through. I don't think it was necessary in that story. They showed that they can storytell just fine without explicitly stating this is what was wrong with the person. So I did like that in the end. I didn't at first. I thought, can we not just say it and get it over with? But when I saw what they were doing with it, and I saw that they're just going to leave this as an open-ended thing, I was like, I'll let this play out. I'll see how it goes. And once again, it turned out to be a wonderful, beautiful thing when they're allowed to take the show in the direction that they want to take it. And do these little things like send Frank off in the right kind of way for his character. The fact that Bill went with Frank as well, I was a little bit depressed by that. Not because the two characters died and they were lovely men to have on the show for the time that they were there, but more so I felt a little bit robbed that we never got to see Nick Offerman and Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey interact. I felt Nick would have had some lovely scenes with Bella because they have some really sarcastic, snipey remarks at each other in the game's dialogue, and I was a little bit sad that we never got to see any of that take place.
Huh? Yeah, sure, Joel. Go ahead. Take my card. Take all my food, too, while you're at it.
By the looks of it, you could lose some of that food.
Listen to me, you little shit.
No, fuck you. You handcuffed
I
me.
need you to shut up.
It kind of felt like we could have done with another episode there. All that's left me like feeling a little bit empty because it was depressing to see what happened to those two characters, and knowing that Joel had just lost Tess and now has learned that he has effectively lost the closest thing that he had to another friend in such a short space of time has probably been quite devastating for him. I did like an actual detail that I picked up on. So there was two things actually. There was an interaction the first time that Joel and Tess came to visit to have a meal. There was an interaction between Frank and Tess, where Frank taught Tess the code that he wanted her to use on the radio from now on. So the whole thing from the pilot episode where they would play 60s music for this, 70s music for this, and 80s music for distress or danger. And there was that, and then the other part was in the bunker then where they entered the bunker and there was 80s music playing, and Ellie asked why the music was playing when it was clear that the occupants of the house had been dead for some time. And Joel said that if Bill doesn't reset the system every few weeks, then the playlist starts playing 80s music, basically to warn that Bill's town is now dangerous. Why I picked up on this actually is the fact that although this is the third episode, this actually is chronologically the first episode in the season, because we now know that Bill and Frank died the night that Joel and Tess and Ellie went in the direction of the office and the hotel. Because if you remember, the radio in Tess's bunker started up and started playing 80s music in the closing scenes of the pilot, which meant Bill and Frank had probably been dead for probably 2 to 3 weeks at that point, which is where we know now that the third episode is actually the first. Oh, I thought that was just a nice thing to pick up on. I didn't read that anywhere or hear about it online. Remarkable. Sat here in silence for a couple of minutes just thinking about the episode that I just watched. Beautiful episode. Depressing stuff. Very moving and fantastically acted. Like the caliber of acting by everybody involved was off the charts completely. The first episode, I would say, in the season where it was extremely evident that we are so desperate for time while watching this show. So desperate. You just, like, the episodes themselves fly by, but I just find myself so wanting more time. like, especially when it ended there. And that they played out that beautiful song at the end by an artist that I've never listened to before, but I thought was just so emotionally moving to listen to, both in terms of the importance to Bill, but also just a beautiful artist to listen to singing. And it just hit me so hard that you just don't have enough time when you're watching these episodes. And I think with every passing week now, there's this distantly ringing bell that is just going to keep getting louder and louder, just to remind us that we are running out of time already with this season, and it's only just begun, and it feels like it's almost over already. That is the hallmark of a fantastic, incredible show. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. If you've enjoyed this react, please drop me a like and a subscription, and let me know what you liked about the episode, what you liked about the react, and how much you're enjoying the show. I would love to see you again as we go on to episode 4, and I will see you again next time.
Good night, kiddo.